Hello everyone. If you're thinking of starting a piggery farm, you can pause for some moment and watch this video so that you as a person who is a beginner, you don't know how to go about it. Maybe you don't know how to select which one is the best breed to start with. So I found there's one person that I visited his farm, the founder of Amber Delight Farm. He's based here in South Sudan. So I visited his farm. He basically does piggery farming. So we're going to ask him some things, some few questions, so that he will help us, people who are thinking of starting this business, so that he will even tell us how to go about it. Is it profitable at the end of the day or not? What, in case it is not, what advice is he going to give us so that we can think of an alternative way to go about which kind of business in the agriculture sector that we want to go about it. So thank you, you're most welcome.
So, welcome to Amber Delight Farm.
Okay.
Okay. So, farming is a profitable venture if you understand how the whole system works. The first important thing is the market. You need to understand the market. Where is the market? Where are you going to be selling to? Okay? That's the first important thing. Okay?
So you're talking about the market. I have to understand the market. So can you briefly help me how I can be able, as a beginner, how I'll be able to understand that market? Since I'm still totally blank in this piggery farming, I want to start. So for you know how you've been in the process, you know at least how to go about it. Can you help me? What can I do? What should I do as a person to understand the market best so that if I'm thinking of beginning poultry farming, I will be able to get the results or whatever profit that I may be thinking of at the end of the day.
So, the first thing is you need to do your research. That's like your homework. Where are you going to be selling to? Is it the retailers? Is it the supermarket? Is it the street vendors? Are you going to roast it yourself? For example, if you are going to keep them until they reach 6 months. So after identifying the buyer, that's when you can start the project, because you can't start without understanding how the market works.
Okay. So all in all, what you're saying, I have to first research about it very well and understand how the market works. So maybe if I'm thinking of selling it, I might sell personally. I'm the one going to sell it to people. So I have to think about which kind of people am I targeting,
Yeah,
the population, which population, because now there are people who are not what going to be eating this. Let me say the end product, which is the pork.
Yeah.
So there are some people in the community that don't eat that. So I have to target the population
Yeah, you have to target.
that is okay. So now, as we are into it, now I am thinking of starting. Basically, what kind of pig breed do you recommend? Or how many pig breeds are there that you can recommend for me as a beginner that I can think of to start this farming?
Okay, first of all, you need to understand there are very many types of pig breeds, and you have to understand that not all pig breeds are the same. They're different. So, for example, if you want to sell piglets, I can recommend for you a pig that will give you more piglets. If you want to sell pork, there's a breed that will mature very fast. I can also recommend for you. Okay.
So you're saying if I want to sell piglets or I want to sell pork, there are different breeds. Doesn't mean the breeds that are for piglets are different from the breeds that are going to be for pork at the end of the day.
No. Okay. Like you have to look at the duration and then the amount of money you have. Because now if you have to specialize in selling piglets, you're going to spend less.
Oh. So now this one, it comes to the feeding.
We are feeding and the type
So
of the breed.
now at the end of the day, if I don't want to spend a lot in feeding those pigs until the end where I'm going to slaughter them to the as the pork, I'll spend less compared to So when I'm I'll say I'll spend less when I'm doing what? I'll spend less when I'm going to sell the piglets instead when I'm thinking of leaving them to mature, and then I'll come and sell as a end product, which is the pork. So you're meaning here the cost will be different.
Yeah, the
That's
cost is
why
going to
you're
be
saying
different.
that you will recommend for me the different the pig the breeds according to what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to comment for the Kambla. That's if you want to sell pork.
So
Pork.
why do you think of the why are you recommending for me the Kambla? Is it the only breed or there are other breeds?
Okay, the other breeds. Since you're a starter, the Kambla is very easy to manage, okay? It does not stress. It's easy to feed. It's resistant to diseases. And it only takes like 5 months to mature. That's if you feed it very well.
Okay.
And then there are also other breeds like the large white, which we have on our farm. Okay, we have landrace, and then we have doodle. Okay.
So all these different kinds of pig breeds, they
Have different characteristics.
yes.
So
So when it comes to feeding, let me say managing them, like you have said, you recommend for me the Kambla because the breed, the what, it is easy to manage.
yeah, it's easy
So
to manage.
you mean those other kinds of breeds, they have, you need extra extra time and management,
Yes.
extra time to manage them,
Yes.
because this other one
It's easy.
is easy. So like you're saying, it's easy to manage this Kambla compared to those other kinds of breeds. And then now when it comes to the feeding, do they also vary? The feeding, does it vary for all of them, or their feeding system or their feeding routine is all the same for all of them?
Their feeding routine is all the same.
For all the
Yeah. But for the Kambla, it grows very fast. It's a good breed.
okay. So now let me ask you, the feeding, let me say I'm still starting with the piglets.
Okay.
What will be the feeding routine for the piglets, and then what will be the feeding routine for the pigs that are already big?
Okay. You first need to understand that feeding is done according to the age and then the nutritional needs of the pigs. So for the piglets, we have a different feed formula. Then for the growers, we have a different feed formula. Then for the finishers, we also have a different feed formula. So if you're having like piglets, you need a piglet feed formula. Okay, like a piglet feed formula. That's if you're specializing in selling piglets. So like after birth, you keep them for 10 days, then you introduce them to crib feed.
Now another thing I want to know is, how can I identify a quality pig breed when buying piglets?
So this is how you identify. Like if you're planning to buy piglets, first visit the farm. You have to look at the pig. Is it having bright eyes? If it's having bright eyes, that's a healthy piglet. You have to look at the legs. The legs will be straight. You have to study the feeding patterns. Is it eating very well? Okay. The moment you enter the pig farm, they should be able to welcome you. They should be able to run to you. That's a sign that a pig is healthy. But if it's dormant, just know that's not a good breed or a good pig to buy.
So I should first, as a person, me as a person who is a beginner, when I'm going to buy a piglet, the first thing I should check is the eyes, the legs being straight, and then how it is reacting to the environment. So those things are the basic things, qualities
Yeah.
that you can think of if you're planning to purchase some piglets.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then this is also a bonus point. Before you buy the pig, you have to weigh. A good breed will weigh between 10 kilos to 15 kilos at 1 month.
Wow. So at 1 month, already a piglet can weigh from 15
Yeah, 15 kilos.
kilos and above.
No, that's the maximum. 15.
Maximum
15 to 10 downwards.
Okay.
Okay, 10 to 15 kilos.
10 to 15 kilos.
It's less than that, don't buy.
That means it's not healthy.
It's
If it's
not healthy, yeah.
less than 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you know when a pig is ready for mating or service? So how do you know that my pig is ready for mating or it's ready for service? So how will you know?
So,
Depending on the
as
pig.
a pig farmer, this is very important. You need to keep records so that you can know when a pig is about to come on heat. Because it's going to show you some signs that it's on heat. That it's going to be mounting others, it's going to be restless, and it's going to make a lot of noise. And then the private part is going to swell. It's going to be pink. So those are signs that your pig is ready for service. So you have to bring the boar so that mating can take place.
Okay, thank you for that. So can you walk me through how you can select pigs for breeding in your farm? How do you select pigs for breeding in your farm? As a beginner, for me, I want to know how will I select the pigs for breeding?
So now, if I want to select future mothers or the sowers, I first count the number of breasts. You see, you count the number of breasts. If it's having more breasts, that implies that you're going to get more piglets. But if it's having less breast, you're going to get less piglets. That's the only thing I look at.
So that's the major factor.
That's the major factor
that you should think about when you're selecting your pigs for breeding.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when it comes to the feeds and the nutrition part of the pigs, there's something that I want to know. So what types of feeds do you give to your pigs at a different growth stages? So, in every growth stage, the pigs, I think they have different feeding patterns. So how do you go about with this?
So on our farm, this is what we do. When they are 10 days old, that's the piglets, we introduce them to crib feed. Then when they clock 1 month, we introduce them to piglets formula. Then 2 months, we introduce to grower. Then also we introduce them to finisher. Okay.
So how does this different, you're saying grower, finisher, how okay, how is the cost, especially when it comes to all these different feedings? How is the cost that is associated with all these feedings?
So basically, feeding takes 70% of the production cost. As a pig farmer, you need to learn how to cut costs. One, by mixing your own pig feed so that you can understand what you're giving your pigs, the nutrients you're giving your pigs. Then two, if you have land, you have to plant things like maize, soya to cut down on the cost. Okay, so that's the only way you can reduce cost.
That means at the end of the day, if I'm thinking of buying everything from the market, it's going to be costly and expensive compared to when I can mix my own feeds, or I can have, maybe I have a piece of land, I plant some of these different feeds that are used for feeding these pigs. So at the end of the day, I'll be able to save at least some amount of money. So that is a good thing.
So the goal with piggery is to maximize profits.
That's true. Obviously, in every business, you have to think of maximizing your profits. So, like with poultry farming, you have to also think about that. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to run your business and then you incur a lot of losses. So I think that is another thing. So can you say a method of mixing your own pig feeds at home?
So what we normally do is Okay, we have the machine by the way.
Mm.
So what we do is we calculate, we get the nutritional content. Like for the piglets, we get their protein content. Then for the growers, their protein content. Then we have other ingredients we add. So if you need the formula, leave a comment. I'm going to help you with that.
Okay, so the feeding content or content of all these animals is different.
Yeah, it's different.
So if you're interested in knowing how you can mix your own feeds for your animals at home, for anyone who is already in the piggery farming business or you're starting, you can leave a comment and then tell us where you're watching from so that he will be able to respond to you at the end of the day with how you can mix your feeds at home so that you can even reduce that cost that you may incur as a result of you buying everything from the market. So
So what you can do is just list the ingredients you have there in your country. I'll be able to reply to you. If you want a formula for piglets, growers, finishers, I'm just here to help. Okay?
so as we are talking about the your method of mixing your own pig feeds at home. So now here I want to know the key ingredients in feeds you use and why is that important. Let me ask this again. What are the key ingredients in the feed you use and why are they very important?
So there are a lot of ingredients we use on our farm. As earlier we talked about feeding, but I'm also going to add more points on this. So we use things like maize bran. Maize is the main ingredient we use. We have soya. Soya plays a crucial role in the process of feed formulation. We have things like salt. Salt is just there to add on the taste. Okay. So we have salt. We have premix. We have vitamins. Just like the humans, you need salt, you need vitamins so that you can also grow. Okay. Then there are a lot of things we normally use. So if we are to sit here mentioning feeds, we can talk the whole day because there are a lot of things we use. That's why I'm asking you to comment so that I can help you with that feeding part.
Okay, now we were talking about mixing your feeds at home and then with this one of buying from the market. So now between the commercial feeds and the home mixed feeds, which one do you prefer and why? Between the commercial, I can go to the market and buy my figs and then I just come and give to my pigs. Or else I can do what? Mix them. Me personally, I mix them, then I give them to my pigs. So which one do you prefer? And tell us why.
So between commercial and homemade, it's better I make homemade. It's because as a farmer you will understand the nutritional needs of your pigs. Because now there you're just buying. Maybe that person is not experienced. You just buy what you don't know.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then mixing, it's kind of cheaper. Mixing your own. Okay. Because now you know the nutritional needs of the pigs. So you design a formula that will work for the piglets. Because now, recently I've been getting a lot of calls like people telling me their pigs are not growing. The
So,
pigs are taking long to mature. It's because the problem is with the feed they're using.
so there must be a mistake with the mixing of the feeds.
Yeah,
or
mixing of the feed.
so that means if I make a mistake or an error while mixing my feeds, that will automatically affect how the
Yeah, it's going
growing.
to affect production. Yeah, it's going to affect production.
So to avoid such things, what do you prefer I as a person to do? What will you tell me as a beginner to do as I'm starting that poultry? I don't want to have those errors or I don't want to have those mistakes whereby I will work hard. I will see in the beginning everything is going on well, but in the middle I will see that my pigs are what? are not growing. They're just,
Stunted,
yeah,
not growing up.
yeah. So I don't want to have that situation. So can you tell me what I
So
can do?
the first thing is you need to understand the nutritional needs. What do they want to grow? Okay. You need things like water, uh, the minerals, the vitamins. If you're not giving them the vitamins, they may not grow. If you're only feeding them on one ingredient, if you're feeding them on maize bran, they may not give you the results you want, because now if you're feeding them only one ingredient, they may take like a year or more than a year to mature, or they even start dying because of the feed.
So is it possible for me to change the feeding pattern at the end of the day if I see that everything is not working out for me?
Yeah, with the help of a nutritionist or a vet, you can change the pattern.
Okay. So how many times a day do you feed your pigs?
So basically,
And what works best for a rapid growth?
feed 3 times a day, like in the morning, after cleaning, we feed. Okay, then around 1 p.m. we give them like some vegetables, just like midday snack. Okay, then in the evening we feed like, yeah. Then you have to also give them water like 247, because pigs and water they are one, and water is also part of their diet. If you're not giving pigs water, it implies that you're losing out.
Okay, so for me to have that best rapid growth, I have to maybe feed them at least 3 times a day. So water should always be constant, 24/7, so that at least I will be able to get the best results that I need.
Yeah.
So what kind of supplements do you think I, as an individual, I can give my pigs so that they will have that rapid growth?
Okay, what we feed on our farm is we give them the vitamins, we give them things like Boss Pig, Wonder Pig, uh, then the salt. There are a lot of things you can basically feed. Okay, molasses, yeah.
So that was you telling me about the selection process of how I can select my pigs, and then how I can feed my pigs, the nutrition, the feeding, which breed is best for the what. So now let's come to the housing, hygiene, and the management. So this is an important thing, especially the management part. Now I've already understood which kind of breed I will go for, and then how I can feed my pigs. Now when it comes to the management, this is something that most farms or most businesses always collapse on the management system. So as a person, you have tried or you've been managing your piggery farm. So can you tell me what can I put inside? Like let me say when it's the hygiene special, what can I put inside my piggery to reduce the smell or to prevent bad smell in the piggery farm? That is in the hygiene part.
So there are two types of systems you can use. So some people use the concrete floor, some people use the deep litter system. Okay, commonly we call it the IMO, but every method is having its advantages and disadvantages. Okay.
So can you tell me a bit of the advantage of the concrete, and then the disadvantage, and then the advantage of the deep litter, and then the disadvantage, so that I as a person I can be able to make a decision when it comes to the two systems.
Okay, for the concrete, it's kind of durable. Okay. Then for the deep litter, it's very cheap. That's for starting out. You can start with a deep litter. Then the disadvantage with the concrete is that the pigs can be digging the concrete all the time. Okay. Then sometimes causes injury. It tends to be slippery. Okay. Then the disadvantage of the deep litter is that on the floor there are a lot of worms. So next time I'll take you to the farm and I'll show you
Okay.
so that we can compare.
So now, if I don't want to have like my farm, I want to go with the deep litter system. Now, since you said it's cost effective, so I'm considering the cost that I may incur when it comes to starting up this piggery farm. So I want to reduce cost. Now I'm thinking of going with a deep litter. And then you said one of the disadvantages of the deep litter is that sometimes on the floor there is worms. So if I want to avoid all that, I don't want worms to be in the farm. What can I do to reduce that or to avoid that?
So you have to spray it all the time. Then sometimes you have to put ash, okay? Because for the ash it kills the worms. So you have to spray with the IMO. So for the IMO, these are like live bacteria. They help to eat the fishes up.
What do you usually place on the floor of the pigs, especially for piglets?
Okay, we use bedding material. Okay, right now what we have here is the deep litter system. We're supposed to dig 3 feet deep down. Then you put some trees, leaves, charcoal, red soil, salt, then you add sawdust. So, because for the piglets, they need a warm environment.
So the purpose of putting all those the charcoal, the wood, digging it down like three you said
3 feet.
3 feet.
Yeah.
So all the purpose of this is to give my piglet the warmth that they desire at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then it also helps to reduce smell.
Okay, you mean this this process can help me to reduce also smelling, to avoid like my farm having that bad smell.
Yeah,
And then
the
at the
bad
end of
smell.
the day, obviously I don't want my neighbors to complain that, you know what, you're doing us more harm than good by bringing all this bad smell to the area. Our area used to be good, but since you started this farming, hey, your pigs are this, oh, your pigs are that in the environment. So that means this can help me to avoid
It
all
can
this.
help, yeah.
Okay. So now another thing I want to know is, how often can I change the sawdust or the bedding materials? How often should I change?
So after every 3 months, that's when you change. You have to also look at the condition. If it's still in a good condition, you can leave it.
So if more, but the best thing I should do is after every 3 months. Now you say that looking at the condition. Now imagine it has not elapsed 3 months and then the what? The floor, the bedding materials or the sawdust is now what? In a complete mess. Is it possible for me to leave it for those 3 months or I
No,
change?
you can add more sawdust on top.
Okay. So now with that I also want to know something. What chemicals or natural products do you use to control flies in the what? In the piggery. So can I use, okay, maybe there are a lot of flies that may be associated in the piggery farm. And then also what kind of chemical or what other natural way can I use to avoid all that? I want my piggery to be clean. I don't want to have flies. I don't want to have that bad smell. Yeah, you told me for the smell, for me to avoid the smell, you told me what to do. Now here I want to avoid the flies. What can I do?
Okay, there's a tree we normally burn. Okay, it's covered with oil. So we burn that tree, it helps to eliminate the flies. That's the other thing we normally do.
So
So I don't know the name of the tree, but next time I'll take you to the market and show you that this is the tree we use. It helps to eliminate the flies on the farm.
Okay. So now another thing I want to know when it's in the health part. So how often do you deworm your pigs, and which deworming products do you usually use? The
Okay.
deworming products, and how often can I deworm my pigs?
You normally deworm after every 2 months, and there are a lot of products you can use to deworm your pigs.
Mm.
Okay, for the natural method, we use pumpkin seeds.
Mhm.
Okay, then we use. Okay, that one is rated in Chinese. Okay, you know
Mm.
the Chinese, they're kind of complicated. They don't want to reveal everything, so that one works very well.
Mm.
That one works very well. So next time if you visit the farm, I'll show you the product. It's written in Chinese, only 2 letters, but that's the perfect dewormer you can use.
Okay.
So
So now for that, that is the chemical part. That like those are the deworming products that you use for your farm, for your piggeries.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to me now trying to find the market, I mean, I'm already in the business. Now the cost and the management, I mean the marketing of my what? Of my pigs. How much does it cost to start a small pig farm? So especially like, okay, I already know the basics.
Okay.
What is all needed? Now I want to start.
Okay. Now you want
What is the cost for a small what?
small pig farm.
Pig farm? Yeah. Let me say I want to start with 3 piglets.
So the first thing you have to do is you have to write a business plan. The reason for writing a business plan is to identify everything you need before starting the project. That way you're less likely to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's just like a blueprint.
Mm.
Now you said you want to start with 3 piglets. So a piglet of 1 month can get it at $50.
Mm.
So for the three you need 150.
Yes, $150.
Then $150. Then you have to look at the structure. Okay.
So when it comes to the structure, now when I'm starting with these 3 piglets. At the end of the day, obviously, I'm going to keep on expanding.
Yes.
So, like for a space of 3 piglets at the beginning, so how do you think what should be the measurement of that place, of the space that will accommodate all the 3 piglets that I have? And I want them to have that enough space. So, what do you think should be the measurement?
Okay. 2 meter for the start, it's okay. But as you keep on expanding, they require more space. You get.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Then if you're starting out, don't go for like expensive structure. You can build a structure yourself.
Mm.
Just use like simple materials such as the iron sheet, even bamboo or grass thatched house for the start, so that you can understand like how the whole system works, so that you can learn. Like I have my student from Cameroon. These days we just help each other. I always coach her, tell her to do this. So you have to be consulting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, for me who is still beginning, I will need all the help because of the guidance in every step. Because now, when it comes to the management, when it comes to the space, what is required, the measurement of your space, how do you feed, all those things, obviously, mixing the feeds, it's something that you as a beginner you not know. So if you're like me, that is also thinking of starting, you can comment and tell us that I want to start piggery farm, so that he will help you and guide you on how to go about it. So
By the way, we have also a free school called Amber Business Academy where we mentor farmers there. So what we do is we help them. Okay.
okay, So you've heard. If you're interested in learning, you can also join the what?
The academy.
Yeah, the academy. It is what?
Amber Agribusiness Academy.
Okay, Amber
Agribusiness Academy.
So now, for us who are starters or the beginners, we can do what? We can join that academy so that we can be guided on how to go about with the what? With the farming, or how to get involved in the agriculture sector so that we grow and get the what? The profits or the benefits that we always desire at the end of the day. Now, another thing I want to know is, how much do you sell your piglets and what determines the the price? So now I'm thinking of, now when I have my piglets I want to sell, how much can I sell one, and what is the determining factor for the price of a piglet?
We look at two things: the weight and the breed. Because from the beginning I told you, not all breeds are the same.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
So now every breed has a different price.
Yeah.
And then now also the weight of every pig determines the price that may be associated with that pig.
Yes.
Okay. So now the other thing I want to know is, where can new beginners, new pig farmers, find a reliable market for their pigs today? So finding market is not an easy thing. So for new farmers, where do you find your reliable market?
You can create the market. You have a smartphone, you have Facebook.
Mm.
Start posting your pigs the day you start the pig farm. So that way you're trying to create awareness. Okay? TikTok, instead of you dancing, post about your pigs.
Okay.
Okay? Join farming groups like the associations. Okay, cooperatives.